Hi there. Thanks for joining us today live. And if you're joining on the recording, thanks for listening in. I am Dawn Franz. I'm the nutritional health coach at the Natural Grocers on North Academy. And I also have the nutritional health coach from our Natural Grocers in Monument, Mindy. She's on the call today, and she will help answer questions that you might have in the chat pane. We both offer nutrition coaching sessions by appointment. So you can call either of our stores. Mine's the North Colorado Springs store or her store in Monument. You can also go online to naturalgrocers.com/coaching and sign up for some coaching sessions. Those are free. We also offer free classes within our stores. So if you like this class and you want to come in person to our store, and we have a variety of nutrition topics, anywhere from health white chocolate to this class like the super simple ways to support immunity. So just check out our website to find out what classes we have coming up. We do both have a great kind of kickstart your new year type of series of classes that are coming up and starting in January. They're called 21 Days to a Healthier You. So mine start on January 24th. It's a Tuesday evening at 5, and the first class is Eat for Health. And the next following Tuesday on January 31st is the next class, 21 Days for Healthy You Kick Sugar Cravings. And the very last class in that cycle is on February 7th, and it's all about detoxifying your life. So a great way to kickstart your new year in a healthy way. You can join me in Colorado Springs, or if those times don't work for your schedule, you can check out Mindy's classes in Monument and tune in for those great classes. So I have been lucky to work for Natural Grocers for 20 years and 18 years as a nutritional health coach. We love supporting the community and offering classes or supporting events. So that's part of the way that Natural Grocers is helping to support nutrition education. So you're tuning in for this class. It's called Super Simple Ways to Support Immunity. We're going to take a little bit of time to talk about some great ways to maintain a healthy, functioning immune system throughout the winter and really any time of the year. The last 2 years have taught us how important it is to really be aware of how important it is to have a robust immune function and to maintain it. Before we get started, I do have to remind you this class is not intended to diagnose, treat, or mitigate any disease, and that dietary supplements and foods can interact with prescription meds. So if you're on any, just make sure you're checking with your doctor or pharmacist to find out if there's any possible interactions before you go gung-ho and start a new supplement regimen. So Natural Grocers is pretty unique in the health food store industry because they prioritize nutrition education as their #1 founding principle. They also offer really high quality products at affordable pricing, and we love to support our communities. We also offer nutrition education to our employees so that they can support their health, and they're well knowledgeable for you when you come into the store and ask questions. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about what the immune system is and what we can do, and also all the different levels that play into and do affect how our immune function works. So the immune system, very basically, is any host defense system that comprises a lot of biological structures and processes within an organism that protects them from disease. And so when we support this immune system, we have a healthy, competent immune function, and we can be more resilient and better able to protect ourselves from disease and keep ourselves from getting frequent colds, as well as to be able to fight off pathogens that we're exposed to. And while this paradigm does hold a lot of truth, the current state of the world exposes a new way of looking at the immune system. So there are other players here, right, that can influence the immune function, um, including things like mental health. When our powered feeling can really affect how our immune system functions. Inflammation. So if we manage our inflammation more on a daily basis, we're better able to have a healthy inflammation response in the respiratory tract. And even as we age, our immune system and the way it functions does age with us. So it's important to be aware of that and know what you can do to support healthy aging of your immune system. We also need to factor in stress. Stress plays a huge role in how our immune system can work. There's a lot of stress hormones, one including cortisol, that can affect the ability for our immune system to function well. So we really want to support the endocrine health. And so those, all of those factors do kind of play hand in hand. So we support the health of the whole host, our whole body, and in turn, we're going to have healthier immune system function. We really can't have one without the other. So let's talk about the number one thing that we can do to support our immune system. What do you guys think that's going to be? Well, of course, I'm talking about nutrition. So good nutrition is like the number one thing that supports healthy immune function. There is a huge relationship with the types of foods that we're eating. We're eating more nutrient dense foods. We're getting more antioxidants from foods and more minerals and nutrients that we require to have a healthy immune function. There is such a tight relationship that is linking nutrition to our immune function. And it's actually thought that malnutrition is actually the most common cause of immunodeficiency worldwide. So it's such a tight relationship that it would definitely be impossible to cover all the research on this topic. So let's just focus on some of the very well-established concepts and ideas. So this is a quick overview of the three main things we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about some daily foods that you can add in that can really support your immune system, things that are easy to do on a daily basis, and then also some daily supplements, the top three that really can make a huge difference in how the immune system functions, and they're easy to do. And then we're going to talk about some things you might want to have in your toolbox for when you're not feeling the greatest. Some timely supplements like elderberry, some herbal supplements, as well as zinc and selenium, and how those can really help support a timely immune response. So let's first talk about some foods that we want to include daily. And probiotic foods definitely are important. About 70 to 80% of our immune system resides in our gut, right? So a healthy gut flora really helps to support a healthy immune function. Healthy bacteria limit the growth of undesirable bacteria in the gut, and they support the health and growth of immune cells in the gastrointestinal tract. When we consume probiotics as well as prebiotics, which are food for the good bacteria, we can support the development of our immune system, the production of antibodies. Also, they can help support the immunoregulatory metabolites that helps to maintain the healthy functioning of our immune system. And then, during the holidays, we're going to more parties, we might be eating food that we're normally not eating. So certain foods and alcohol can damage our gut barrier. So it's really important to think about replenishing that gut barrier and supporting the health of it to help modulate any inflammation that can occur in the gut. So probiotic foods can actually provide timely support, and they can be daily foods to support the health of the gut, especially when we're traveling, which a lot of people do during the holidays. So when we have those good probiotics, so probiotic foods are things like sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, yogurt, and kefir. Even kombucha would be a probiotic food that we can include. And to feed the good bacteria, things like garlic and onions, green bananas, Jerusalem artichoke. These are all like foods that can feed good bacteria. Acacia fiber, those are some other really good prebiotic type foods. And potato starch, so basically like potato salad, cooked and cooled potatoes, can actually really feed our good bacteria in our gut. And in turn, they increase the production of something called secretory IgA. So that's an immune complex that helps to support the health of the mucus lining of the gut, as well as the immune system in the gut. So having those good bacteria, they help to modulate inflammation and keep our immune system from overacting or underacting. And again, if we have a balanced inflammatory response in our guts, we can have more of a balanced inflammatory response throughout the body. And that's important for when we do get sick, when we don't feel well, right? Where our immune systems are working really hard to fight off pathogens for us. And one of the ways it does this is producing a lot of inflammatory immune cells to destroy those pathogens. But unfortunately, those inflammatory immune cells also can cause inflammation in our, tissues, our respiratory tract, and other areas of the body. So we really want to be able to resolve that inflammation so we feel better and feel better sooner. So anything we can do, including probiotic foods, to help modulate that inflammation, will help you to feel better sooner. And of course, our gastrointestinal barrier is really a first line of a defense with our immune system. So keeping it healthy is important. All right, so another food that is definitely comfort food during the winter months is chicken broth and even bone broth. These are things you can do daily, or make some chicken soup up and put it in the freezer for when you need it. It's easier to thaw out when you're not feeling well. But isn't it much more soothing to have that homemade chicken broth or chicken soup than something that's coming out of a can, which, that'll do for sure in the pinch. But chicken broth can support our immune system because it actually helps, that broth helps to modulate inflammation and supports healthy mucus production within the respiratory tract. Cool thing too about chicken is that it's rich in L-cysteine. It's an amino acid that helps to create more glutathione in the body. So if you haven't heard about glutathione yet, it's a powerhouse free radical fighter that can really support the health of our respiratory tract. It helps our liver detoxify. It's basically the main free radical fighter that our body uses all over. So we have to replenish it. We have to get those nutrients in to help our bodies make it. And even better, you can add some immune boosting kind of herbs and flavoring to your soup. So you can add in herbs like oregano or turmeric, mushrooms, leeks, maybe lemon, and especially garlic. You can add garlic. Who eats garlic cloves when they're sick? I do. And nobody wants to be around me. Well, maybe that's good because then they won't get sick. But yeah, that's one of the ways that I use to help fend off pathogens. So garlic is rich in sulfur-containing compounds. Sulfur is helpful for maintaining the tissues in our mucous membranes, but sulfur also helps balance immune cells, and it also helps to modulate inflammation. So bone broth, chicken broth, and throw in some good immune supportive herbs, and think of garlic for sure. All right. These are some lemon and honey are some great things to kind of keep on hand in the winter months. Lemon is great because it has a lot of vitamin C, right? One lemon probably gives you about 30 milligrams of vitamin C. So squeezing a lemon and then making a tea out of it and adding a little honey is a great thing to help keep your respiratory tract healthy. The honey actually helps to soothe the respiratory tract, and it helps to maintain humidity as well. So it's a good thing, kids like this. They like anything with honey in it, right? So make them some warm lemon honey tea in the evening if they've got some irritation in the respiratory tract. But it's even great just to, the weather here is dry in the winter, so just helps to kind of moisten your throat. So you can do it daily, and you can definitely do it if you aren't feeling the greatest. So next I'm going to talk about some supplements that really are important to be doing on a daily basis in the winter months. and just to keep your immune system healthy year round. Vitamin D probably has some of the most research out there as far as immune supportive research. It is, a key player to support your healthy immune response. And for good reason, almost every cell in the body has a receptor site for vitamin D. So it does a lot for us. If you get the bare minimum of vitamin D, the body uses it to help regulate mineral status and support the bones. But that's the reason you want to get more than enough vitamin D, because if you're getting more than just the bare minimum, then it's going to do all the other things that it does for the body, including healthy immune function. So it's a good idea to kind of check your vitamin D levels, especially in the winter, to make sure that you're getting enough vitamin D in. And in Colorado, we don't get the UVB rays from the sun in the winter months to make it naturally. So it's a good idea to supplement with vitamin D in the winter. From about November to February, even if you get out and go hiking, you're in the sun a little bit, you're probably not getting those UVB rays that you need to make it. So supplementing is a good idea. Taking at the very least 1200 IU of vitamin D daily has been shown to support immune function and healthy respiratory tract function too. It also helps to make sure our immune system isn't overreactive and create too many inflammatory immune compounds to make us feel so much more inflamed. And then there's other things that you need to make sure that you're absorbing enough vitamin D. Kind of a good hint is that if you are low in magnesium, which a lot of people are, magnesium is needed to help absorb vitamin D. So it's a good idea to make sure you're getting enough magnesium as well as vitamin D. So that's something you want to make sure you're checking with your doctor to see what your levels are at and supplementing throughout the winter. Next, vitamin C, super simple, but so important for healthy immune function. Vitamin C is an antioxidant, right? So it does help modulate free radicals that are produced by our immune system. All of our mucous membranes in the respiratory tract and the sinus are kind of going to be supported by vitamin C. Vitamin C helps reinforce those tissues. It's the main component of collagen. So it's definitely important for that. Vitamin C is needed to help us balance our stress response. And it does help. You can take vitamin C, more of it when you get sick, and you can take it on a daily basis. It does help stimulate rapid immune support and help immune cells respond more quickly. So it's why it's a good idea to bump up your vitamin C when you're feeling like you're coming down with something. And then next we have mushrooms. There's a whole host of different types of mushrooms that can be great for healthy immune function or different support, different reasons for health. But the top three that I'll talk about for healthy immune function are reishi, chaga, and turkey tail. Actually, there is a mushroom class that we do, and I have done it on here. So if you want to check the video out, you can. There's a whole class just on mushrooms, how they are unique, how they can support our health if you're interested in learning more. But real quick, reishi is one that's great for healthy respiration. It helps modulate inflammation in the respiratory tract. It supports the immune response in the lungs and respiratory tract. And it also is a great one for stress. So something we need this time of year is some sort of stress buffer, right? But reishi is great for helping you maintain your chill during this season, this holiday season. And it's great for immune health. Chaga is another mushroom that is great for daily immune support. It also modulates inflammation, especially in the respiratory tract and in the intestinal lining as well. So those two are great mushrooms to add in. And turkey tail, there's a picture of it down there. It looks like a turkey tail. It's very beautiful. But turkey tail is most well known for its ability to build up the immune system and support its health, both to make sure it's not underreactive or overreactive. And it does support healthy lung function and respiratory wellness. So those three are some great ones to to include in the winter months. Next, I'm going to talk about some things you probably want to have around for like a timely immune response. So elderberry is one of those. You can take elderberry daily, but it's also great to include if you're feeling like you need some extra support. Elderberry does contain a lot of phytonutrients. You can see how dark the color is there on the berries. Any food like blueberries or, that has a lot of really dark colors has lots of phytonutrients. Just to name a few, elderberry does actually have lots of vitamin C in it. It has quercetin, and all of those help work as free radical scavengers to help maintain cellular integrity and boost healthy immunity. So elderberry you can take as you need it, has been shown to modulate inflammation and even to modulate certain immune cells like neutrophils and macrophages. You can take it as a syrup, you can take it as a gummy. We have lots of elderberry gummies to make it easy, and for kids and adults alike that like their gummies. It's something that can be purchased here. You can also get dried elderberries too and make your own elderberry syrup or make a tea from it. I make my own kombucha, and I've been using the dried elderberries to flavor the second ferment, and it actually makes really great kombucha. Some other good herbs to have in your toolkit are things like echinacea. Echinacea, sorry, is the most researched plant in the world. Lots of research showing how it supports healthy immune function. It supports healthy white blood cell production and supports something called phagocytosis. In case you don't know what that is, it's there were so many different immune cells and they all do different jobs, but there's certain immune cells that kind of look like little Pac-Mans, and they go around like eating up pathogens so that I can digest them and help get rid of them for you. So echinacea is helpful for increasing your Pac-Mans in your body. It also helps support a healthy respiratory and inflammatory response. A lot of people think of oregano too. It's kind of a well-known traditional herbal remedy that has actually been used for thousands of years for good reason. It also contains compounds like phenols, thymol, and carvacol, and those help to maintain a healthy microbial environment in the intestines and a robust immune response. So oregano isn't something that you generally would want to do on a daily basis, but you can take it during the winter months or for like 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So it's a great one to have around. There are some great herbal blends for kids out there, just to name one of them. There's a picture of it kind of down the bottom. It's made by Wish Garden and it's called Kick It Immune. It does contain things like echinacea to kind of boost their immune system. It has elderflower, osha, yerba santa, a really good blend of herbs to help support a healthy immune and respiratory response. So as soon as you can get on those herbals, the better, to help modulate your immune response. And then there's 2 minerals that are pretty important to include. More for timely response, but you can take them throughout the cold and flu season. And that's zinc and selenium. You can take zinc in a capsule form just kind of throughout the winter months to help keep your immune system healthy. But when you're coming down with something, zinc lozenges might be a better choice. They help to kind of soothe the throat. They actually support the immune function in the mouth and nasal passage, the throat, and the upper respiratory tract. And that's where pathogens are entering our body, right? And they kind of taste a little funny sometimes. They have an astringent taste in the mouth, but that's actually a sign that it's working. Zinc actually creates an electrical gradient in the respiratory tract, and that's how it helps to maintain our cellular defenses. So keep some zinc lozenges on hand. They also help to promote the health of our major immune cells like T cells. Those are involved in a strong and robust immune response. And zinc is something that can help with the production of secretory IgA that we talked about earlier, that immune complex that supports the health of the gut lining, and it supports the health of our mucous membranes of the ear, nose, and throat. So selenium is pretty important for immune health. It's been found that selenium deficiency severely decreases the ability of immune cells to function properly, and others do the virus to become stronger. So you're doing yourself a favor and you're doing your neighbor a favor, because you're not going to be passing on a stronger virus if you make sure your selenium status is good during the winter months. So you can take a supplement like that one pictured that has about 200 micrograms. There's a more narrow range for supplementing with selenium. You probably like 100 to 300 micrograms is that range. You don't want to go much more than 300 micrograms. So you can take a supplement, or you can actually use Brazil nuts. Of course, it kind of varies from where they're grown, but typically Brazil nuts, about 3 to 4 Brazil nuts a day, gives you enough selenium to support your daily value for selenium. So it's important to maintain a healthy status of both zinc and selenium. Seek supplements, but you can also add in some pumpkin seed. Pumpkin seeds are a good source of zinc as well as selenium. So that's kind of our super simple rundown as far as what to do daily, some daily supplements, foods, as well as some timely supplements to have on hand. So on a daily basis, do yourself a favor and support those probiotic bacteria in your gut. Consume things like sauerkraut or kimchi, miso, some yogurt or kefir, or maybe a little kombucha. You don't have to have a ton of any of those. Like just a tablespoon of sauerkraut on the side of your plate is really all you need. And then also make sure you're eating foods that promote the growth of those good bacteria. So things like cooked and cold potatoes, garlic and onions, green bananas. I don't know how many people that enjoy green bananas. You could actually buy like green banana powder that you could add into like a smoothie or something. And then, make sure you have plenty of chicken broth in your pantry so that you can make some chicken soup and throw in some garlic or other spices like oregano or turmeric that can help modulate immune function. And then it's a good idea to have honey and some lemon on hand so you can make some honey lemon tea to soothe your throat and respiratory tract. And then there's many supplements that support immune function, but these top 3 are super important and have been well studied. Vitamin D, vitamin C, and mushrooms. And then it's a good idea to make sure you have plenty of elderberry, maybe echinacea, oregano in your pantry as well as some zinc lozenges and selenium to help make sure that you have those timely supplements that you can use when you need them. There's also an extra handout that I included that Melissa did email to you for this class. And it talks about all the supplements that I mentioned today. So it's a good follow-up for you. It also talks about some reference ranges as far as dosages and what's been studied. And also it does talk about some different supplements that I didn't mention maybe yet. So it does talk about a B complex. During these months, stress is definitely something that we want to modulate to support the health of our immune system. And Bs are really important for helping us balance stress. And they're also great for supporting healthy levels of inflammation in the body and healthy immune response. They're needed to make different immune cells. So a good B complex is actually something that you might want to do on a daily basis. And then it does mention things like quercetin. Hopefully you've heard of quercetin before. It is a flavonoid. If you find it in foods, it'd be in things like apples or onions, but we carry the supplement of it. And it does, as you can read in there, it does help to regulate inflammatory immune cells and modulate the health of our respiratory tract. And then one last thing that it mentions in this handout is sulforaphane. Anybody heard of that? It is a compound that is in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and also broccoli sprouts are a really high source of this sulforaphane. But cool research on that, how it helps with modulating inflammation and supporting our response to pathogens. So make sure you take a look at that sheet to get you some extra tips on things to support your immune system. All right, so now you've got some tools that you can use, some great supplements that can help support you on a daily basis, as well as some things that can help you when you need it. And it really is important, as we talked about, to support the whole health of the whole host, to make sure you're eating a healthy diet, you're managing stress, getting enough sleep. We need 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night, especially in the winter time. You always feel like you need to hibernate, and there's a reason for it. Your body needs more sleep in the winter. And if we are also adding in some of these key supplements, we can support the health of our immune system, as well as support the health of our whole body. And this is just a quick class, so that is most of what we're going to talk about. But these are some great steps that you can take to support your immune system, and definitely share with friends, educate others, and that way we can work towards enhancing community immune competence. So this definitely sounds timely, but it'll do no harm and potentially a lot of good to support our community immune health. Does anybody have any questions that they didn't get answered for the chat? Thank you, Mindy, for helping with that. But if there's anyone that has questions about what I talked about today or anything I didn't talk about in relation to immune health, you can post those now.
Thank you, Dawn. This was really informative.
You're welcome. I saw that Melissa did post the power of mushroom recording too, in case you want to dive a little deeper into the mushrooms and find out how they can help. Thank you for that.
Well, it doesn't look like there's any questions, and I will shortly email out the handouts to everyone. So thank you, Dawn, and thank you everyone for coming to the program today.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for everyone who tuned in and everyone who ends up watching the recording.